Hi, I'm Scott Goldfein, Editor-in-Chief and Associate Publisher of Security Sales and Integration. I'm delighted to have with me today Dennis Mason, CEO of Kings 3 Emergency Communications. He is here to discuss key recurring monthly revenue trends for security dealers and integrators. Dennis, thank you so much for joining me.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Let's jump right in. What do you see as a highly promising recurring revenue or RMR opportunity for dealers and integrators today?
I think one thing we're seeing in the industry, obviously not just in the security space, but in a lot of other spaces, is that copper wire POTS lines are going away, and so the technology that's been used for lots of different things, not just traditional burg and fire security, but things like elevators and HVAC and other monitored pieces of equipment have historically been on copper wire, right? POTS lines, and so. We're certainly seeing the replacement of POTS becoming, not just in the security space. Obviously, that's been going on a while in the security space, but in these ancillary industries as well. Certainly in the elevator space and HVAC, I think are two areas that are specifically right now going through a big shift from POTS into some other type of technology, whether that's IP or whether that is, cellular or some other type of voice over IP technology. So a big shift there, I think, in certainly in my space, but also in some of the other kind of traditional industry monitored areas.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so, as the dealers and integrators look to make headway in that, what do you see as some keys for their success?
I think, like anything, is understanding the market. That's really key. And as a elevator guy from my career, I wouldn't tend to be able to just jump into the fire space, right? Without having some knowledge of AHJs. Certainly the elevator space is very AHJ driven, just like the fire space. And so I think having a good working knowledge of the requirements from one AHJ to another, just like security, right? Not every AHJ thinks it should be done the same way. And so certainly having that knowledge in what the HJ expects, what the requirements are, I think that's key to success. Obviously, with anything, if you don't know that, you can get in over your head sometimes, and we've seen that happen with a couple of integrators who stepped in it a little bit without really understanding what the requirements were, and we've all had issues with AHJs, and those are typically battles you don't win, or at least I don't seem to ever win those battles. So they kind of have a little bit of that's what the A means, right? They have the authority. So I think that's really key in understanding the regulatory environment for sure.
Yeah, speaking their language and really understanding what they're dealing with gets you in tight as a partner.
Yeah, for sure.
And what do you think they should look for in terms of a vendor partner to help give them the edge that they need?
Well, I think one of the things that is really important, like I said, is knowing those things. But it's hard if you're not in the space to know, okay, what's the requirement in my jurisdiction? So having a partner that really does that, who has, when needed, proper licensing. I mean, that's really a key. Some jurisdictions require this to be done by a licensed elevator contractor. And so, if you don't have those relationships, it's sometimes hard to get this work done. Specifically, if you have to, in our space, I'll deal with that specifically. If some change has to be made to the piece of equipment inside the elevator, it almost always requires a licensed elevator guy to do that work. So you really need to have those relationships where that partner doesn't necessarily see you as a threat. That is a mutually beneficial partnership. And that's really important to partner with a company that understands what the dealer's trying to do and can work with the dealer to make sure it's done so that when the elevator inspector comes out, he's happy with the result and doesn't end up red tagging the elevator. And that's, if you're not doing it right, that's what happens. And no one wants to be in front of their customer with a red tag, right? I think that's no matter what business you're in, that's not a good thing. So,
absolutely. Could you highlight a specific offering that Kings 3 brings to the table that can help integrators succeed?
Yeah, so we have a product that we that we work with our dealers, provide a service with our dealers that meets the requirements. And so that's really important. We can also kind of navigate that space when you might need a licensed contractor to do that. So we help our dealers with those kind of problems that they wouldn't naturally think about. I think you're thinking, oh, it's just changing pots to dial tone, right? What could go wrong? And the answer is, what I live in Murphy land, right? What can go wrong will go wrong, and so we try and help our partners navigate through those challenges. And if a licensed elevator contractor is needed, we are a licensed elevator contractor in numerous states, and so we can help our dealers if there's any kind of compliance issue around elevator licensing work and things like that. So that's, I think, what we bring to the table for our dealers is just 30 years of elevator experience too. That we've been in this business since '89, and so if it can happen in the elevator communication space, we've dealt with it. So I think just bringing a lot of experience to our dealers where they don't have to learn the hard way. And the hard way is always the expensive way, at least in my tenure anyway. So.
Yeah, great advice. I want to remind viewers to look out for the RMR Deep Dive in the February issue of Security Sales and Integration, of which Kings 3 is a participant, and they have an article in there as well, so look out for that. Dennis, thank you so much.
Thanks, Scott. I appreciate being with you.